Yo, what's popping? My 420 army, it's your boy the Mighty Alien 420, and I figured since I'm doing my Pirates of the Caribbean for my Lego project that's Pirates of the Caribbean related, I figured why not do like a Pirates of the Caribbean tier list where I rank every character. Well, not every character, but like mostly the ones in here, like the major ones. Although this list does have some background characters too. But again, I'll probably explain some of the background characters and then like even some of the ones that are not in here. Like there aren't like they missed a lot of Barbossa's crew from Pirates 1 and a lot of Dutchman crew members from 3, so yeah, and looks like this list is also missing some of Blackbeard's crew from the 4th film, so yeah. Yeah, again, this I didn't alter any of these tiers. This is the way it looked when I originally when the original creator made this, so and I figured, you know what, this should work. It should be fine. Rank the characters as we go. Obviously, for starters, Captain Jack Sparrow, he gets legend tier. What would Pirates be without him? It's Johnny Depp. I'm pretty sure everyone loves Johnny Depp. Did an amazing job playing the character throughout all the films. Even despite how drunk Jack was in the 5th film, it's like, yeah, that's probably like his worst performance out of them all, but I still like the 5th movie, even though Jack was extremely drunk. If they made Jack less drunk in Pirates 5, then the film would have been more enjoyable than it was. It probably would have been almost as top tier as the first 3 films. It was miles better than 4, don't get me wrong, that's for damn sure. Alright. Who should I add? That's just news reports. I was trying to figure out what character to put in next. Alright, you know what? Put Davy Jones. He obviously gets legend tier. He's the best villain we've ever gotten in the whole franchise. The whole love story between him and Calypso, that works really well. How he cut out his heart. Pretty much everything about Davy just works really good. And that will probably be explained in my 420 Tales from the Ocean's Edge. Because it's kind of me explaining why Davy Jones is like the best character. I'll explain some of that, and I guess I might have to dive more into that, but I'm just kind of going off of the characters here and like explain how each film works. But yep, Davy Jones, best villain in the franchise. He's in legend here alongside Jack. And to no surprise, Barbossa also gets legend here. Yeah, because what do you think? Barbossa has been in all 5 Pirates films. Like, he was a really good villain in the first film, and honestly, his surprising return in 2, and then even in 3, I just love. He really has some good scenes in 3, and even 4, he has his motive in 4 is definitely miles better. Is definitely really good. Where he's like, he wants to get his revenge for destroying the frigate on Blackbeard, for him capturing the Black Pearl, and him pretending to be a privateer. Actually, it does kind of work well because he is trying to be undercover. But it's like that's actually one of the few things I did like about 4 is Barbossa's plan to get him. And 5, he was a really good character in 5, believe it or not, because you can tell it's like he's just like a rich pirate like he always wanted to be, and then when he finds out he has a daughter, you know he's not as selfish, he's not like the deranged person he is, and then when he sacrifices himself to save his daughter, which is Karina. We'll explain Karina once we get to her, but that really was a good way to bring his character full close. So yeah, Barbossa really had the good journey. They really expanded on him in these. And yeah, they did a really good job. Alrighty, who to do next? Alright, Elizabeth Swann. We'll do Elizabeth. We'll talk about Elizabeth first, and then we'll move over to Will. But yeah, anyways, Elizabeth, she really good. Like Pirates 1, she's kind of like really small. Has like a small role where she starts as like a. Even though they have her as like a damsel in distress throughout Pirates 1, she actually learns like why they did a really good job at identifying her as a damsel in distress who really wants to save Will, and it's like she doesn't want to marry Norrington. And then 2 and 3, they really did a good job, made her like an actual like badass woman. Well, 3 mostly, because 3, her becoming Pirate King is just amazing. Like that really brought her arc up. It's like She's like the one of the best females in like the whole franchise. Like, dang, really amazing. And even Will to an extent. Will, you know what? Will also gets legend here because he like in Pirates One, his like he's really good in Pirates One because it's like he really wants to save Elizabeth from Barbossa, and it's like he eventually goes out of his way to do that by like freeing Jack when he shouldn't have, and then just sneaking off. That just shows how sly Will is. Even in two, when he and two and three, when he wants to free his father from the Dutchman, where he's like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna find that chest. I'm gonna kill Jones, free you from the Dutchman." That was also handled really well on how he wanted to use Jack, and it's like just Will just is like a really great character, and even though they're and oh yeah, I forgot to mention this for Elizabeth, like her cameo in five was nice, just to see her back, and then even though Will had a small role in five, it was also good to see him back, and then man, if only that post-credits scene from five actually got them in six, and then we could see Will have a major role again. Elizabeth, like, even though Keira Knightley has said she'll probably never return to Pirates or have a major role in it again, she has to be in at least the beginning, so that's what I'm hoping for if we ever get a sixth film. Alright. Yeah, you know what? Gibbs also gets legend tier. It's Gibbs. He's Jack's first mate. He's got to get the legend tier. He kind of deserves it. It's like Jack wouldn't be without him. Wouldn't be where he is now without his help. Even though he does kind of betray Jack in five, but then eventually Henry talks him back into it. That just shows that Gibbs will never leave Jack when he's like high on his luck, or even like down on his luck. He'll eventually return if there's like a good deal for it. So yeah, and plus Gibbs does kind of have like some funny moments too throughout the franchise. And then when he burns the map and he's forced to go with Barbossa in four, how terrible that is. And yeah, actually, technically Pintel and Rigetti are separate characters, but we're going to talk about both of them at the same time. They both get legend tier. These two just are really funny. I really enjoy watching them on screen. It's like Pirates 1 when they go to distract Norrington's men. That scene always just makes that scene is always hilarious, and then even Rigetti's wooden eye poking out too. That's also really funny. These two just really make you laugh. They have so many funny scenes together. Like in 2 when they're fighting all the Dutchman pirates, and even like when they're acting cowardly during the Kraken attack. And even there are moments in 3, like when they're trying to be Kraken Slayers and all that, like when they're on the Kraken in the third film. They just have so many iconic scenes, and if only 4 and 5 had them. 4 could have easily been like the plot with Rigetti on the Providence with Barbossa and his men, and then Pintel goes on the Queen Anne's Revenge with Blackbeard. Or maybe just make it, or maybe Blackbeard could have even had Pintel locked up in the brig on the Revenge. That's an interesting thought. So it makes sense to how Pintel was on there, and then Rigetti would be locked up in London. That's just kind of how I'd work it. And we'll take a break from Legends for a little bit and try to figure out some, like, characters that would be kind of high tier. Okay, who would be a high tier character? Let's see. Yeah, we'll put Gillette in high tier. He's pretty. Yeah, in Pirates 1, like, Gillette really does have, like, all those funny moments, like, when he takes over the Dauntless and he says, "This ship cannot be crewed by 2 men. He'll never make it out of the bay." And then Jack puts a gun at him, and then they get kicked off the ship, and he's, like, trying to warn Norrington. He's like, "Abandon ship!" Because Gillette really does have some funny moments throughout Pirates 1, and even when he taunts Elizabeth after locking her up in the brig on the Dauntless. Although 4, he does have his only iconic one-liner in 4 because he didn't have much of a role. He was like pretty much a background character, and he was like simultaneously killed off in that movie too. It's like, what? Why did you bring this character back if you were just gonna kill him off? It's like the only one-liner he has in 4 is when Barbossa says, "Ever look back on the beach and see your footsteps in the sand? It's like that, except the footsteps lie before me." And then Gillette says, "Footstep," actually. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then Macus, he gets a high tier because all the Dutchman crew characters are cool, don't get me wrong, but Macus just looks fucking amazing with his shark design, and then he's like a really good character. Like, honestly, you can tell that he's like Davy Jones's first mate. He just looks really good. And then Clanker, he's kind of okay. You know what? Clanker gets a high tier as well because he was also really good. Like when he tells Will, "Down on your marrow bones and pray," and then when he's like trying to deal with him. So yeah, Clanker's also another really awesome designed Dutchman crew character. Well, even though these are like more minor characters, don't really have much of an arc, they just still kind of deserve like the high tier ranking. And Bootstrap Bill, he's kind of a mid tier. He doesn't have really much involvement. He's just like, he stops the Liar's Dice game. He stops Will from losing the Liar's Dice game, or kind of just doesn't want Will to end up on the Dutchman, and then he just kind of like gets locked in the brig for the rest of 2 and he's not seen again. And then 3, he just has like little to no involvement. He's like, the only scenes he has in 3 is when he talks to Elizabeth, and then like maybe if he had like more involvement, and like, or even I'm just not really a fan of the character. So yeah, that's why he's mid. Alright. You know what? We're going to talk about Salazar now. Salazar gets a mid tier. Put him before Bootstrap. Yeah. Salazar, he would be higher if like we actually got more about his backstory, like explained why he kills pirates. Even though he says that they killed his father and grandfather, and then yeah, that's like, there's got to be more than that aside from them just killing your family. But you were still pretty decent. Your goal is that you want to kill Jack because he caused you to become like a ghost creature. He is definitely miles better than Blackbeard, who we'll get to Blackbeard eventually, but we'll kind of focus on Salazar and his men for now. He is just like, Javier Bardem did an amazing job as Salazar, and that's why I like him better than Blackbeard. So I checked out some other Javier Bardem films, and yeah, Javier Bardem was a really good choice for Salazar. Even like the floating hair and just literally everything about Salazar is just made him a good villain for 5. Again, not as top tier as Davy Jones or Barbossa. Okay, honestly, Lazaro. Sorry, dude, you get low tier. You didn't really. It's just like, you're just trying to be more concerned. Like, he just follows Salazar around. He doesn't really do much aside from like warn him he's gonna be trapped in Henry's body forever. Lazaro doesn't really have much involvement on the plot, so yeah, unfortunately, he's not as high tier as his captain is. Even like all of Salazar's other crew members were not really that high. Well, then again, they like hardly ever spoke, so yeah. Alright. Bo's son. Yeah, Bo's son, he gets the high tier. Because he's not as legendary as Pintel and Rigetti, but he does act like a good first mate for Barbossa in the first film. Because, like, the way he just, like, slaps Elizabeth is like, "You will speak when spoken to." And literally, like, every other way Bo's son acts throughout the film, it's like, yeah, he does act like a good second in command. He's just really good. Although, honestly, I feel like some of the other Barbossa crew members in here, like Grapple and Mallet, they were kind of like, almost like, they're really close behind him But yeah, both Sun's honestly the best one out of all the background ones. Not counting Pintel and Rigetti because he's like really good. Really good first mate for him. Okay, alright, Palafiso. We still have one more Dutchman crew member. Honestly, he's kind of low tier. He's just not really as iconic as, like, Macus, Clanker, or Hadris, or even Kalinico. He's just kind of like a background character who only has, like, one line. Yeah, I don't really vibe with him as much as I do with the other ones. Even though his design's really cool. All the Dutchman crew members have designs, but he's kind of one of the lower ones. Yeah. Okay. Tia Dalma, she gets high tier. Actually, we'll try to rearrange him. We put Bo's son over here, put Gillette, like, there, and then put Tia Dalma here. Yeah. Anyways, as I was talking about Tia Dalma, she is like she's actually pretty great. She, like her voodoo and all that she uses makes her a really good character, and we find out that she's actually Calypso. That just works so well. And even that scene with her and Davy Jones talking. And then, literally, she's just really great. She's, like, God tier. Like, I just love, like, her way of telling, like, how Davy Jones' backstory and all that. Yeah. Really great character. I know, I'm just kind of repeating. I'm trying to think of... It's hard to do when you're doing a list like this, and then you're trying to describe characters, and... Alright. Who do I do next? Okay, Karina Smith or Karina Barbosa. Okay, this is gonna cause a lot of hot take, but Karina, she gets legend tier. She is just like an amazing female. She is like just miles better than Angelica in the fifth film, and even though she's not as high as Elizabeth, or actually, I think I'll move her to high tier. Yeah, she's a little better in high tier. Yeah, she's not quite legend tier, but because the only thing she has weighing her down is that she never gets to handle a sword. Well, even though Elizabeth didn't get to handle swords till Pirates 2, it would have been nice for Karina to get a sword, but she obviously did, and it really did a good job at establishing her character. She's trying to find out who her father is, and she's being accused of being a witch, and she's trying to prove that she's not a witch, and then she achieves her end goal. She finds a Triton, finds her father, who's Barbosa, who unfortunately dies at that moment, right when he finds out that it's her. Yeah. Casco Ilario did a really good job playing Karina. That's why I feel like Karina is just, like, a solid character because of, like, her portrayal. Because literally everything about Pirates 5 is, like, better than 4, because the character, the cast and crew are miles better, which... Even Henry, he's kind of high tier, but he's not really, like, as high. He's kind of more... Yeah, I kind of like Karina more than Henry. Henry... It just seems like he's trying to be like he's trying to save his father, but then he's just not really, doesn't really do the fighting as well as Will did. And then, like, the chemistry between Henry and Karina is actually, it's really good for the film. Because with them learning about, like, they realize they're trying to, like, find out who their fathers were, or, like, well, Karina's case and Henry's case, he's trying to save his father. And then the two eventually wind up well together. That's just really great. Alright. That's kind of it for Henry. Obviously, Will is, like, definitely better than his son. So, they get legend tier because they were the original trilogy, and then high tier, Henry and Karina. Okay. Let's start doing some trash tier. Yeah, Blackbeard, you're the weakest villain of the whole fucking franchise. You do not act like the pirate all pirates fear. You're just like, you don't even act scary at all. It's like he's just lazy at the film being able to make zombies. Like, what? why the fuck is there even zombies in this movie? As much as I love zombies, it's like, I don't think those really belong in pirate times. Like, what? Or even voodoo, I don't get it. They reveal his fate way too early. It's like, if you want to, it's like, no, why'd you have to reveal that he's gonna get killed by a one-legged man? We already know that it's Barbossa. Like, why? He's just a dog shit villain. He's the most terrible out of all the villains. And same for Angelica. She is also trash. Even though honestly that scene where she and Jack are dueling each other in the pub, that scene was pretty epic, but it's like, you find out it's actually a woman in disguise. It's like, oh my god. And she's just annoying at times too. It's like, it's like, why the fuck did Jack even abandon her? It's like, or no, you find out why Jack abandoned her in the first place. Yeah, she is just horrible in every single way. And then she's stupid, and then even at the end, at the climax of the film, when she just stupidly poisons herself with Barbossa's sword, it's like, who the fuck grabs the sword by the blade when you're trying to pull it out, whether or not it's poisoned, because swords are technically supposed to be sharp. I just wanted to clarify that, because it's like, people are going to be saying, okay, how is she supposed to know that Barbossa poisoned his sword before stabbing Blackbeard? It's like, still, it's like, even if that sword wasn't poisoned, I'm sure Angelica still would have somehow cut herself on that. She is just fucking retarded. Even, like, when she gets her life saved, she's still mad at Jack, and she's like, thanks for saving me. She doesn't do that. She's just angry. It's like, your father was just being a selfish fuckwad. Same with you. And it's like, yeah, you deserve to be left on that island. And if you come back in a sixth film, someone better shoot your fucking head off. And yeah, a lot of the other Queen Anne's other Revenge members aren't in here, but Scrum, he's a low tier. He does have some funny scenes, but a lot of in 5 where he's getting beat up, it's like, no, he's not as top tier as Pintel and Rigetti at all. It's like the scene where he laughs at Jack for supposedly forgetting his own name was just dumb. It's like, God, this comic relief character is just, I don't even want to, no, it's like, he is just, no, yeah, that's what I'm going to start repeating myself. Okay, let's go for, Sao Fang. He's, mid-tier. He'd be higher if, like, he didn't die, and then he doesn't really seem, and then he it's like, he's just, like, so violent towards, like, everyone else. It's like, jeez, why is he's so aggressive? Like, why is he so aggressive? I don't get it. He's supposed to be one of the pirate lords, and he just sits there in Singapore, and oh boy, don't even get me started on that whole completely fucking pointless scene of him thinking that Elizabeth is Calypso. I did not care for that when it's like, how fucking stupid do you have to be? Or even though I'm probably gonna get some people saying it's like, oh well, Barbossa never clarified whether he meant Tiadama or Elizabeth when he said we have Calypso. But still, you could have just taken Tiadama correctly and then have Elizabeth on the ship for a fucking bath, and then make it where once he dies, Elizabeth steals her robes from a dead body, and then Sao Fang makes her captain with his dying breath, because just make some random ass woman. Then I wonder how that would have played out if both Tiadama and Elizabeth were on the Empress. That's what I'm kind of wondering. That probably would have been less pointless. Yeah. Alright. Beckett, okay, this is going to be a little bit of a hot take. Beckett is honestly lower than Salazar. Or, actually, you know what? Beckett gets low tier. I don't know. I'm trying to struggle. Either mid tier or low tier, because, you know what? We'll put him in mid tier. Because, obviously, Salazar is definitely better than him. Beckett is just, like, he doesn't act scary at all. Even though it's like, ooh, I just want to hurt the heart of Davy Jones so I can kill all pirates, and he doesn't really seem threatening at all. It's like, his lack of threatening just does not really make him, like, he kind of makes him weak. It's like, he's even really considered a villain, and then he just finally admits defeat when he realizes that the ships are about to get destroyed. It's like, yeah, he's not really, like, a top-tier character. Okay, let's... see. Okay, Norrington... He gets the... actually, we'll put him mid-tier. No, mid-tier, yeah. Actually, yeah, put him just a little bit underneath... no, actually, yeah, Salazar goes before Norrington. Yeah, Norrington was actually kind of a... I thought he was an okay character. He just really wanted to get, like, starting off as a Commodore, and then him just kind of really wanting to marry Elizabeth, but then... And at least he was actually kind of chill. At least he is chill when Elizabeth chooses Will over him. Although he does kind of taunt her in 2 about how Will ended up on the Dutchman, and then him wanting to get into that battle just so he can deliver the heart to Beckett and become an admiral, which he does successfully. It's like, okay, the way he just stole it is, yeah, I guess works if you want to set up the finale of the 3rd film. So, yeah, even though, like, Norrington's most iconic moment is, like, when he saves Elizabeth from the brig and then he dies trying to protect her. Well, actually, he shoots the rope, but he isn't able to jump off the Dutchman in time before Bootstrap stabs him, so... Yeah, Norrington is he's kind of a mid-tier character, because didn't really get much of a vibe out of him. Alright. Also, Murdoch and Mulroy are kind of mid-tier as well. Even though they also seem like a comedic duo, they're not really the same type. I don't really get the same laughs out of them as I do with Pintel and Rigetti. They're just naturally taking orders from in 1 and 3. Even 5, they're kind of like that as well, because in Pirates 5, they look so different. I think, yeah, these images of them are from Pirates 1. It's like, they do kind of act like good pirates, but they're just not really the Pintel and Rigetti type. Okay, let's see. Anna Maria, yeah, Zoe Saldana. You only got, like, 1 fucking movie before you were just erased from the franchise completely. You're mid-tier. Actually, you know what? We'll put her kind of between Bootstrap and Salazar. Because I'm sure, like, if she had come back in 2 and 3, we would have actually seen more to her and then realized, oh, okay, she really is, like, a good female. But obviously that did not happen. Because I think Zoe Saldana, who plays Anna Maria, actually did say why she never came back for 2 or 3. But I forget exactly what it is. So, yeah. I guess we can finish off the rest of the Motley crew. Marty, he gets a... here. Or, you know what, we'll put Marty kind of here with the rest of the crew guys. Marty is actually, like, a good character, and he does have some scenes that are pretty funny, like in 3 when he goes flying backwards with the blunderbuss. And, yeah, even though he only has, like, 1 line in Pirates 1, he is still kind of a solid character, and I really do enjoy watching him when he's on the screen. Same goes for Cotton. Honestly, Cotton might actually go here before Boson, because Cotton's parrot is just, like, so funny to watch, like, when he's, like, squawking, "What? What are your sales? What are your sales?" Cotton's parrot really just steals the show from Cotton due to him being a mute. But he's still a decent character nonetheless. Alrighty. And that's pretty much it. Okay, since I already talked about Beckett, I guess I might as well talk about Mercer. Uh, Actually, yeah, we'll put Mercer here underneath Murdoch and Mulroy. Because Mercer just seems like he just, like, a guy just randomly appears out of nowhere at times. It's like, he does kind of act threatening, like when he kills the captain, that Captain Hawkins at the dock before, when Governor Swan is trying to get Elizabeth out of Port Royal. And you kind of ruined, like, a heartwarming moment. It's like, what? Why did he have to be there? And then, even in 3, when he's, like, in Singapore, just, like, constantly spy, or even, like, in Tortuga Pirates 2 during that funny bar fight scene, it's like, you're just creepily spying on people so you can give your information to Beckett, and then you just sneak on the Dutchman somehow without anyone knowing after Norrington's death. It's like, Jesus, no wonder Davy Jones, like, just suffocated him with his goddamn tentacles. It's like, yeah, Mercer definitely deserved to go out the way he did. Because he's a fuckwad. Okay. Governor Swan gets a mid-tier. Actually, we'll probably put Governor Swan above. Yeah, I kind of like Governor Swan more than Norrington. Because he really seems like he's trying to protect his daughter. Like, and he does, but he doesn't know how to save her, so the fact he doesn't really like pirates, and then yeah, it's just so hard to talk with, like, some of the minor characters. He is enjoyable to watch. And too, when he's like, why are you arresting her? It's like, that shows, like, he doesn't want his daughter to be hanged, and then he actually cares for her, and he just wants her to be free. And he even was kind of doing that in the 3rd film too, even though his role in 3 was short before he dies. It's like, we don't even get to see him die on screen. We just see him in the fucking boat heading into the locker. Like, dang. Governor Swan is a decent character. Alright, actually, how have I not talked about Groves yet? Groves... Yeah, Groves actually, we'll put Groves up here in the... Or, no, actually, kind of a little behind Norrington. Yeah. Because the reason why I have Gillette in high tier is because of some of his jokes. Because Groves seems like he's more serious with his one-liners, aside from Gillette, who just is trying to make, like, the sarcastic quips. Groves actually seems more focused on, like, taking orders. And he does occasionally crack some jokes when he says, "That's gotta be the best pirate I've ever seen," and then Norrington says, "So it would seem." Or even in 3, when after the Endeavor's mask falls over and he asks, "Do you think he makes it all up, or just goes with it as it goes along?" Something like that. So yeah. Even though he did already, and even though Groves was also killed off in 4, at least he got to make his return to the franchise in 3, and then he had an iconic dying moment. So, yeah. Okay, Jack the Monkey, honestly, you know what? He gets legend tier. It's a fucking monkey, come on. Barbossa deserves to have his monkey and his daughter. So, or actually, why doesn't Karina take over Jack the Monkey instead of having Jack, so it doesn't get confused between 2 Jacks? That'd be kind of cool, because Jack the Monkey actually is pretty funny when he shows up on screen. When he steals the medallion and he shows up, or even in 2 when he steals the drawing of the key. He just has some scenes that I actually do honestly laugh at. And, okay. Yeah, King George, he's a low tier character. Because he's like a more minor one, and he's like, he doesn't want the Spanish to find the Fountain of Youth. Even though I do laugh when he's like banging his fist on the table, and then And the fact that he just stupidly asks Jack to have his chains removed, it's like, why are they even removing his chains in the first place? It's like, would somehow he should have asked them to restrain them into the chair further, so then Jack could just break the whole fucking chair when he goes to escape. Yeah, I think. Yeah, some of the Pirate Lord characters, Capitan Cheval. Yeah, they're just kind of mid characters. They only have like a few one-liners, and then they're just like constantly fighting with each other. Not sure how exactly I'd rank them. Come on, the Corsair. Why is Eduardo Vanilla over here and then Gentleman Jacquard? Yeah, he's there, and then Eduardo Vanilla. Yeah, they're all just mid-tier characters. They don't really have their own like stories to them. They just exist for like being each other, kind of dragging on the brother and court scene longer. Even after watching the film recently, it's like, I don't know why some of these are even in here. Why some of these guys are even just like, why not just have them all like expand each other in a way, aside from just having all their fleets present. Okay. Oh yeah, Captain Teague. Yeah, definitely he deserves a living legend rank too. Because come on, it's Jack Sparrow's dad. He's got to be up there with his son. And those two scenes that he has in 3 and 4 are just like really good when he's interacting with Jack. It's like, if only he actually was in 5 and did not just appear in a flashback. Yeah. And then, okay, is this supposed to be Leanne or Park? They look exactly the same, but you know what? She's low because these characters are just low because they don't really do much. They just help South Fang get steam, and then they just get killed off within like 5 to 10 minutes of them being on screen. Tai Huang. He's a mid-tier character. It's like his only purpose in the film was to be. No, he's definitely before Mercer. Yeah, like that. Because he does at least have a larger role than the Pirate Lords do, or more screen time than them, I should say. But it's like, if it wasn't for that scene in the bathhouse where he makes Elizabeth strip herself, and he'd be higher, it's like technically all Elizabeth could have done was just poke him in the fucking eyes and then waltz her way into the bathhouse. That's how simple it is. And oh, the prison dog, yeah, he gets up high tier. Because, come on, the doggo, you gotta give the doggo a high ranking. His scenes in 2 and 3, like the scene, like, this is from the post-credit scene of 2 when the Pelagosos make him their chief. It's like, the dog is just pretty funny to watch when during his few scenes in Pirates 1, and then it's a dog. Come on, you gotta give dogs high spots. Alright. Now let's just knock out some of the baddies, or like some of just the dog shit characters. This guy's name is Dix. He's a low tier character. It's like, what? Why do we even have this guy just chasing after Jack? I mean, of course, well, he is the mayor of St. Martin. But it's like, he's just trying to get Jack and Karina executed, and it's like, they don't, they're obviously pirates, but then obviously there's like, my wife's in the vault. Did not get much out of this character. Alright, yeah. Philip, he's horseshit. It's like, you fell in love with a fucking mermaid and you're a fucking priest. It's like, no, I did not get a single enjoyment out of this character. It's just, he's just cringe, and same for Serena. Both these characters are trash. I do not get the love story. The fact that she has to be in a glass coffin because she's a mermaid, even though she grows legs, it's like, what? Why is this even a thing? I don't get it. As cool as it was to have mermaids in Pirates 4, it's just the love story between Philip and Serena is just so weak that it's just dumpster fire. Alright. The Spaniard, yeah, he's low tier. Your only purpose, you only wanted to find a Fountain of Youth so you could destroy it. It's like, why? He's just kind of a weak character. He doesn't even bother to fight. It's like, come on, dude. At least give us an actual battle scene between Barbossa's men and your men when you first come across each other. Because as epic as it was with that scene in Palm Tree Grove when they fight the Spanish to get the chalices, it's like, the way that Jack and Barbossa got tied up was just fucking stupid. And then, it's like, yeah. If he had actually wanted to use the Fountain of Youth, so... and not just destroy it, it's like, yay, now we have eternal life. Sansa, actually, you know what? Sansa, she gets like a mid-tier. Because even though she is technically the real witch, it's like, she doesn't really have much screen time, and pretty much every character she interacted with ended up dying. It's like, and then she doesn't even bother how to explain how she got Jack's compass from the bar in St. Martin. Yeah, but I will say she could be useful. She could have been useful if they were ever to do a Pirate 6. And then she could explain how Davy Jones came back to life when the Trident was destroyed. It would completely make sense, so that's why she's mid-tier, and she could be higher if they expand her character more. Okay. Scarfield, he's trash because they try to make him the new Norrington, but it's like it just doesn't work because he's like trying to actually capture Karina and Henry as opposed to actually like kind of help them, and like that's what Norrington did with Will and Elizabeth. He was sort of supportive towards them, and Scarfield just does not have any of that. He's just kind of a weak character, and he's just garbage. So this was like one thing I didn't really like about 5 is like he's also kind of annoying, and just the way he just beats up Scrum. As much as Scrum deserved that, and then the way he just, yeah, it's just not worth liking. Okay. Yeah, actually, Captain Bellamy, he gets kind of actually, he's kind of like on the verge of low and mid. Low because he doesn't really have much of a role. He's like just like a plot device. Like, he helps Elizabeth get to Tortuga, and then he tries to help Will get back to Port Royal, but then he's just killed by the Kraken. It's like, yeah, there's not really much room for those characters, so I'm sure even like he's probably one of the weaker parts of 2. Just because of like how he gets killed by the Kraken so easily. And even same thing for the Bursar and Quartermaster. They both get low tier. It's like their captain's dead, they don't even know how to... These two guys, they're... yeah. And then... Quartermaster and Gunner, yeah, they're just trash. It's like, again, and also Yaman would be trash. It's like, as much as I love zombies, they just don't fit in pirate times. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this tier list, and how would you rank and let me know in the comments, how would you rank these characters? Like, some people, like, have Blackbeard higher, or even Angelica higher. It's like, yeah, because you obviously know that I don't like Pirates 4, so that's why it's like low. All like the characters either low tier or trash tier from that. And even like some Pirates 5 characters are low there, but pretty much everything in Pirates 5 was better than 4, which is why Salazar was mid tier. And then Henry and Karina are high, so. Actually, I think Giordama might move over. Yeah, that's a little better, and then Gillette kind of there. That's a little better. And then these three are kind of like on the verge of high and mid, so that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and please like, comment, share, sub, and peace.